Welcome to the Palestine Freedom Files, interviews and sound bites made by activists on the ground in Palestine and edited in a collaboration between KKRN and KFOI in Northern California for the Pacifica Network and beyond. Welcome to episode 2 of the Palestine Freedom Files. In this episode, we interview Rabbi Dani Danieli, a 71-year-old Jewish elder who has a master's degree and is part of a group of Jewish activists defending the Bedouins outside the town of Makmas in the West Bank, which is in the Jordan Valley. The Bedouin camp is known as the Makmas Bedouin Encampment and is tucked in a very rural setting along a difficult, unmaintained road that was at the time very muddy and hard on our vehicle. The encampment is basically the remains of a Palestinian Bedouin village that has been living in the area for many generations and where their livestock has free-ranged under the watchful eyes of the Bedouin herders. When Israeli settlers built an illegal outpost years ago, the attacks on the Palestinians began. Soon the outposts garrisoned the settlement, which is a fortified, encaged settler community with high fences and barbed wire. Homes can be mobile and conventionally constructed with markets and all that is needed to supply a community with the goal of expanding into the countryside by ethnically cleansing the indigenous population. Often multiple outposts, the military wing of a settlement, are constructed as the entire population of settlers grows and pushes out the Palestinians. The Makmas Bedouin Encampment has suffered 2 very large and sustained attacks and dozens of smaller ones where violence is used to intimidate, harm, and sometimes kill the Palestinians. As it happened, we arrived the day after the second largest attack. Our assignment was to act as what is officially known as protective presence, a situation where foreign activists act as witnesses to attacks and activities of the settlers and hopefully, because of the foreign passport holders, change the minds of the settlers for fear of international condemnation and action. However, recently Israel signaled the settler movement to increase pressure, and I can testify to the assault on foreign activists. Just one day before this recording, a foreign activist was clubbed on the head at this site. The Bedouins and the activists had barricaded themselves into the last unbreaching building as the door was ripped off, the window broken, and 2 large holes pounded through the outer walls. Then tear gas was thrown in and pepper spray released inside. At least 20 or more homes and livestock buildings of the former village are burned down and lie unusable on the hillside. My name is Mauro, and the other interviewer is Janelle Da Silva, also an American. You are listening to the Palestine Freedom Files.
I'm Dani Danieli, and I'm organizational consultant in my profession, and I was very much involved in culture in Jerusalem. But now, when I'm half retired, I'm an activist for 5 years. Basically in this area, the southern Jordan Valley, and also other places near Jerusalem. So I'm in this business for almost 5 years.
We are in Palestine, not in Israeli territory, correct?
We are in Palestine territory. Of course, many Israelis will tell you that it belongs to Israel. Most of Israelis don't know the differences. They don't pay attention, to the parallel legal system that is relevant to this area. But yes, we are in Palestine, in Area C.
Area C.
Were you here 2 days ago when?
Unfortunately, no. I don't know whether I could help, but when there is attack of several people against 2 people, 2 activists, there were 2, I think.
Not 5.
No, 2 activists.
2 activists.
So, I mean, for the audience, you're a Jewish elder. You're an elder. and in my native belief, you're somebody you don't question, you don't cross. So with these settlers, do they show you any respect like that?
No. This is one of the phenomena that they don't care whether you are a lady or an elder. If you are on the way, they may eat you. And I'm not talking about verbal things. They don't respect you. I mean, one of the principles in Judaism is to respect the elderly. Not applicable here.
Did you see one of the Knesset members, a lady, that said in a speech in the last few days that the Jewish children in the future will be proud of what we did to Gaza? So she actually suggested that it was Jews doing it, and I know that's really irritating to authentic Judaism.
Look, I can start a speech here, but I try to be very short.
Okay.
For me, it's a disaster. I'm still a Zionist, meaning I believe that the basic idea of Zionism is true. But people spoiled it, and of course, you know that it all happened after 67. I mean, after we got this present, the occupied territories, and since then, I think that only bad things happened to Israel, and many, I'd say, disastrous things has happened from then on. And these extremists, who are represented both in the Knesset and in the government, carry an idea, a messianic idea, about the whole area of what is called the land of Israel, Eretz Israel, belong to Jews.
And how do you define Zionism?
Zionism, for me, includes two basic principles.
Okay.
First of all, a shelter for the Jewish people. A shelter for the Jewish people. And the second, the astonishing idea of the founding fathers that the future state of the Jews will be moral, will be, you know, a sign for all the nations in the world in terms of moralities, values, etc. This was a consensus then.
Okay.
Among all the parties in the Zionist field.
When it was formed, when Israel
Yes.
was formed.
And how would
No, before,
before.
and maybe you know, also later, but you know, the bad things started in 48. It was just very much empowered after 67.
And when you say shelter for the Jewish people, can you tell me what that entails? Like, would that, like, shelter, where would that, where, how?
Look, again, this directs me to a long speech, which I don't know whether you want or have time to hear.
Just want to understand, like, when you say the first part of the definition is a shelter for the Jewish people. So this shelter, where would this ideally be? Where would this shelter be? And what is it? When you say shelter, do you mean like a physical, like,
Yes,
place?
of course it's a physical. We're talking about a state, about sovereignty of a state. And there were borders which were agreed in 48.
Okay.
In the agreements there,
Okay.
which defined the borders of Israel.
Okay.
And of course, I always thought that when you are a majority in this place, you have to respect also the minority. Arabs were here for many years. Palestinians were here, and one of our declarations of independence secure equality and civil rights for everybody.
It did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes. But it was never actually applied. I mean, the Arabs were in the borders of the Israeli state, were citizens, and they are still citizens. But they are From the beginning, the way that the Jewish government in Israel treated Arabs was not in terms of equality.
Do you think that's why a constitution was never created? Because if they had created a constitution, they would have to actually honor the original promise of equality?
The constitution could help, but since you are both Americans, nowadays prove that constitution doesn't really prove anything.
Good point. Touche.
And it's not the first time I talk about it. By the way, I'm a secular humanistic rabbi. Okay. So I had a conversation with colleagues from the United States, and they raised this issue of constitution, and I told them, look, I see that you are very much protected, and immigrants are very much protected by the American Constitution. So, it is a kind of, safety net. It should be, but with a lot of holes in this net, as we can see. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. The people don't actually seem to even want to apply it back against their government and hold our own leaders accountable in a way that actually threatens their political careers.
Yeah. So the challenges you Americans face in this Trump administration, you face severe challenges. Constitution may help, but if, for instance, one of the worst thing that you have is the structure of the Supreme Court. So if the Supreme Court doesn't really defend the Constitution and defend Trump's administration actions, then let's question what about the Constitution.
Yeah.
But certainly, there are a lot of debates all over the times since Israel was established about the Constitution. I was also a part of it in some times. In these efforts to try and create, a move that will create at least what we call a sin constitution. Few basic principles that should direct the life of the Israeli administration and all the systems and the human rights and civil rights. But I guess that that the people who objected these efforts were the ultra-religious people. They say that our constitution is the Torah. Okay, is our sacred Bible, etc. And it's above constitution. So why do we need a constitution at all? So they objected it. Even there were times where we saw that something will lead to it, but their constant refusal was the dominant factor.
I did not know that.
Yes.
But that would truly make it a Jewish state if that's the way it exists. If the Constitution was the Torah, that would be a Jewish state.
It is a Jewish state also according to the Declaration of Independence. Okay. With the implication, equal rights, civil rights, equality, but a Jewish state.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's fascinating.
Yes. By the way, in the Declaration of State, there is the word democracy doesn't appear, for instance. There were the principles, basic, fantastic principles, but again, the word democracy was not mentioned. So, one of the problems.
How do you feel about the acceleration since Trump came in office? You feel like I do that he seems to be owned by the Israeli government, by Netanyahu. Seems to do whatever he wants, even though in public sometimes they appear to have this disagreement, and then the actions say otherwise.
Yes, I think that basically yes. But, as I see it, and I'm not an expert on the American politics, also in spite of the fact that I'm a political scientist, I have an MA degree and I'm very much interested. But Trump is in favor of what Trump wants, according to what he sees as the interests of the United States. And I don't think that he's in the hands of Benjamin Netanyahu. No, I think that he's in favor. He's surrounded by people who really support Israel. I believe that he has a sentiment, but let's see one thing, okay? He was in favor, and expressed it many times, in favor of annexation of the West Bank. But 3 weeks ago, he said no annexation. Okay,
but yet it's happening. And he's not.
We're talking about again. You are right. We're talking about the jure and de facto in this sense. So since he have interest with the Emirates and Saudi Arabia, I'm sure that they demanded that there will not be the jure annexation, but they all agree that de facto annexation should persist. Okay, and I know, for instance, and I guess that you don't know, that in the late stage of Biden administration, the Biden administration really started to fight settlers organizations, some nasty people, terrorists, what I call Jewish terrorists. We sanctioned. And there was a sanction on the most influential settlers organization, which is called Nachala. Okay, and this was meaningful and hopeful in a sense for us.
I didn't know it.
You're
yes,
right, you should check it. And
okay.
This organization who is a pain in the ass and unfortunately very effective in the sense of establishing new settlements, all these things.
But he seemed hell bent on letting Gaza be destroyed too.
Under his administration, he sent one of the most money and weapons under Biden administration.
Yeah, we called him Genocide Joe for a reason.
Yeah.
He sanctioned some extremists, but then sent the most money and weapons.
But we were in direct contact with the embassy in Tel Aviv. And they were involved in documentizing things that happen in the West Bank and in influencing the government to try and stop it. They were not fast enough. They were not effective enough. But it started a tendency not to leave it aside. It was all vanished when Trump started.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know Rubio and Heggs, whatever his name, Heggs were. They all.
Pete.
Oh no, it wasn't Heggs. It was the other guy.
Blinken.
No, in this administration, they have also said that the West Bank will not be annexed. We can assure you the West Bank. So standing here after a very brutal attack 2 days ago, I just want to tell Americans, that's just bullshit.
Look, everything is a bullshit, and I may be extreme saying that I will be blunt here, okay? That they had in this no annexation statement, they had to pay, a kind of tax towards Saudi Arabia, okay? Who has its interest in the Arab world. But they didn't say anything. These guys. That we have a mission, of course. We have to documentize if someone comes.
Yeah.
I don't know who these guys are.
Okay. You want to sign off here?
No, I see wish. Maybe it's a Palestinian, but we don't know yet.
Yeah. So we have a
by the way,
strange vehicle approaching.
It is a strange vehicle.
And they're honking.
It might be, friends of mine also.
Okay.
But we'll see what happens here. I don't know what your policy. If army or settlers come, you want to hide, or this is. Of course,
Context. It depends on the situation.
I'm allowed to be here, aren't I?
Ah.
Am I? I'm an American citizen. Can I be here?
Since you are a foreigner, I am not 100% sure. I cannot take responsibility on this one.
They were telling us that ideally the protocol is to try to stay not seen.
Okay.
But
you look
depends on the situation.
Okay.
We use our judgment.
Well, I'm going to turn this off just so I have...
Yeah.
It's good
We
for them
can
not to know how
continue
many-
later.
You are listening to the Palestine Freedom Files.
For many months.
Okay.
And there were, in the past, there were herds of sheep, goats, etc. There were families. So now they are not here. They don't want to risk them. And actually, this is not a village anymore. These brave people, and they are really brave, stay here to defend their land and homes and pay a severe price for it. With all, they stole sheep here, they burned houses, they tore pipes, water pipes, etc. I mean, I guess that if we were not here with kind of statement that we support them and we can stand against the army from time to time, not that they respect us too much, they hate us, most of the soldiers, but we are still here, which didn't prevent, the deportation of many communities here. I mean, if you are not aware, you have to read some material about the dozens of Bedouin Palestinians communities that were deported from this area and the Jordan Valley, etc. We're talking about a real disaster. I mean, I call it, and I write it. It's an ethnic cleansing. Absolutely. It's not there is no way to describe it differently.
So when you say deport, you mean out of the Palestinian state or out of the or into Hebron and Ramallah?
They went to so many people. I mean, they are spread it around, and some of them went to Nablus or Jenin.
And across the border, I saw many in Jordan. I even saw some refugee Bedouin tents set up and stuff.
But I don't know whether they are original Jordanian Bedouin or people who were deported from here. Most of them don't live. They don't live. They find solutions which are horrible. You see these conditions of this in the places that they are now living, like Duma, for instance, and I think that you'll visit Duma. There are people who were deported from Rashash. They are now in Duma, and they try to deport them also from there. Okay, so second or sometimes even third move of deporting, of hurting, of stealing, and this kind of stuff. Their economic situation is really horrible, as you know. It's not like Gaza, but not far from Gaza. They are not starving, but they have really to minimize their conditions of life.
Do you think that the West Bank could become like Gaza? And if yes, why no? If not, what would be your reasoning?
There are a lot of differences. First of all, it can be much worse than now. But you have to remember that unlike Gaza, the Israeli army supervise everything that happened in the West Bank. And they can penetrate with huge units, for instance, to Jenin or Nablus or Ramallah, etc., and arrest people and arrest roads, etc., etc. So the supervision is very different. It's very difficult to develop, resistance, a real resistance in the West Bank. And another thing, there are, again, a lot of differences. Another one is that still there is international media very much involved in what happens here, unlike the Gaza.
Yes.
Where Israel still doesn't let international media to enter. Okay? So it will not be like Gaza, but I'll tell you something. I just try to see if there are people there or not people. They're on the hill. on the hill.
I see, but I can't tell if those are people
No,
or not.
I don't think that it's people.
Do you think they would ever bomb the West Bank like they
No,
do
this
in
is
Gaza?
people. This is people. No? I see them move.
You see? Because I can't see that.
Yeah, a person walks there. No, they are walking. They are people.
Coming towards this direction.
I don't know.
Oh, way up at the top.
Yes.
One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, and they
Can you point towards?
right there at the very top.
Okay.
It looks like they are coming down the hill this way.
You are listening to the Palestine Freedom Files.
Yes.
Okay.
And some of them actually, I'm not sure how this procedure works now, but some of them, this may be an army.
Mm-hmm. Doing a security round, or
I don't know.
it's not? Is this typical to see this?
Or it's my friends. I'm also a member in an organization which is very worthwhile to be familiar with, which is called Rabbis for Human Rights.
Oh yeah, I heard of that.
So I'm a member in the board of this organization.
Okay.
Also. Again, I have a lot of information.
So the settlers, like, how old are they? Like, what's like the age range? Like, are they like
From 14 to mid-30s, I would
Okay.
say.
mostly men?
Only men.
Only men.
Only men. This is a very good question. Yes, only men.
And is there a difference in the treatment when you have activists here and you have female activists versus male activists, and the settlers were to come? Like, what would that look like? Having, like you said, it's very important that we have activists here, but do you think that it makes a difference in the type of activists that are here? Having more of a male presence versus a female presence, does that make any difference at all, good or bad?
They will not be polite, if you mean it. They are not going to respect women more. Not a chance.
Would they make it?
This is very strange. He came, and I don't know what kind of vehicle it is, but they looked on us and they returned back. So we will have a mystery here. Maybe they belong to the settlers and we want to report to them. Maybe it's an army who didn't want to approach here. Mystery.
He told me they were Palestinians on the hill.
The
Yeah?
other one.
What?
I think that was the people that were walking he referred
No,
to.
I refer to the vehicle.
The car, no. The car he didn't say that about. He said the people that were walking could be Palestinians.
Did he
Could
say
be.
that to you?
Yes. But that car wasn't there when he said that. This car is...
Many times, I don't know whether they are Palestinians or not. I don't think that we can identify them from such a distance. But it can turn. The situation can turn in a few minutes. We'll see.
In terms of the male and female activists, you said, obviously they're not going to treat you better, but do you think it puts a target? Like would that maybe like seeing that they have female activists here, would they see that as like, okay, that's more of an easy target?
I don't have a good answer about it.
Okay.
But of course, the women activists are my colleagues, my friends, are so brave. Really, these are wonderful people, and even if they are beaten or arrested, they come back. They continue. Most of them. For instance, the lady Sigal, my friend, who was deported from Ras El Ain, but eventually was not deported from the old West Bank.
Okay.
Probably she's now in Duma here.
Ah.
Yes.
I heard the situation in Juma is worse.
it's worse.
Because they have the drones, they have the...
No, they are much more equipped. They are... look, there is a settlement there. Again, Nachlat Tzvi. You see the... So they are... Yeah, they are bastards, of course, but they are not violent like the people from settlement new one, which is called the Kol Mevaser. You cannot see it. It's in the other side of the hill. You cannot see them. They are really violent. Even according to the army, their presence there is illegal. They ruined their tent. The army ruined their tent at least 4 times, and they came at night and built it again.
What's the name of this?
Kol Mevaser. I wanted to tell you something more, but I forgot.
It's about this?
No, not about this. Something about the legal system, okay?
Oh, okay.
There is this mechanism that is called מעצר מינהלי, administrative arrest.
Okay.
Okay? Even now, in this morning, more than 3,000 Palestinians are arrested. And the army arrests them. They don't have really an opportunity to appeal.
Oh, wow.
This is not a new one, this tool. But if you want to demonstrate the apartheid in the West Bank, every army officer can come to you and say, okay, on my car. And then they can be arrested for a week, 2 weeks, 2 months, and even half a year without any trial. They are not have a chance.
No charges.
There are no charges. Right now, there is one guy you can track and see who he is. He's our friend. His name is Ayman Erayev. Ayman Erayev. He is a very brave person. He documentize documentize or document?
Document.
He documents the evils of the equipment. He comes and just document it, and he was arrested a few times for short periods. He was beaten by the army, etc., etc. But they never used this tool of administrative arrest against him. But recently, about months ago, they sent him for half a year, 6 months of administrative arrest. Only because he documents what happens in the villages and in the rural areas, etc.
Without appeal.
Pardon?
Without appeal. This is the Israeli?
No, he's a Palestinian.
Palestinian, okay.
He's very brave. I guess that if things will go...
Oh, I've heard.
So he is... the difference between him and others is that he's well known.
Yes.
Even internationally.
Yes.
And people watch it and appeal Israeli government to release him, etc., etc. What do you see?
Yeah, someone's walking up there.
This is a Palestinian. So, luckily for him, people think about him and watch what happens. But unlike the thousands of Palestinians that are arrested, and more than 80, eventually, according to previous experience, most of them, more than 80%, will not be charged. I mean, after the 2 months or 3 months, they will come to them and say, "Okay, you can go." That's it.
Question.
And of course, it doesn't apply to Israelis.
Okay.
There was time where they tried to use it against some Israeli terrorists, and the Minister of Defense, Israel Katz, said and instructed them not to do it towards Israelis. So now the army or the police cannot arrest them with using this tool.
Okay.
This is a pure apartheid, you see? When you try to demonstrate how different is the status of Palestinians versus Israelis, this is a very good/bad example to what happens.
Which part of the West Bank would you say is that have the most arrests taking place with Palestinians? Like, it's just all over, or is there like
It's
a
all over.
particular area?
It's all over. It's all over.
Okay.
And to tell you, just yesterday, the story of Russell N, where I'm activist for many months. Settlers came with army to this village, which is quite big, and attacked for many months. They entered their homes, they entered their area, etc., etc. And yesterday, a few settlers came with soldiers complaining that guys from this community stole a sheep, which happens a lot of time. And they came with the army, they enter, the houses, etc. They looked for this sheep, which of course was not stolen. And the Palestinians tried to resist it, no violence, etc. And the army arrested 4 of them and wounded 1 of them. I mean, these settlers from illegal outposts are, in symbiotic relations with the army, and this is the thing that must be understood. I mean, it's not the army supposedly is the sovereign on the West Bank according to international law. Okay.
According to international law.
Law, yes, and Israel say yes. The general who heads, the central, I say Pikud Merkaz, the central command of Israel, is considered the sovereign, I mean the top person of the West Bank. Did you know that?
But it's because it's in an occupation.
Yes.
It's an occupation rules.
Yes.
Yeah. Which means that they have to also make sure everybody's fed, electricity, water. Technically,
Security.
You have to take care of your people.
They have to take care of all the people, and it's really striking that no, they care about Jews, and they cooperate with the settlements. And I claim that this is I'm sure that this is a government policy to deport people from as many areas of Area C.
Area C.
Yeah. Okay, they are going. I think that they are going down.
I don't see them.
I see them. I see at
Coming
least,
towards this direction or away?
No, again, they are down the hill. There are a few of them.
Zoom in.
I don't think that you can get them with the...
Yeah, no.
You are listening to the Palestine Freedom Files.
Hey, you, son. Your mother has gone with you too. I will mix you together when I find our bones. I'll take you home as a family. I'll take you home to Gaza. I'll bury you deep where they won't find you. I'll bury you deep in me.
versus
It's on.
Israeli legal system, and yes, what takes precedence over the other, and how does it work? Like, okay, for example, this village has received some demolition site orders, and families go to appeal this. How would that work, that process, legally?
Legally, of course, there are two systems. Israelis with Israeli ID are subjected to the Israeli legal system. Okay, when there is a problem, they will take them to Israeli court eventually, and of course they give them all the rights of appealing, getting a lawyer representations, and etc., etc., etc. Now, I relate to something. Israel doesn't recognize the fact that it's occupied territory. According to Israelis authorities, it's an area under dispute. Under dispute.
Okay.
It's intermediate, you see. We don't claim, Israeli government doesn't claim that it's an Israeli territory, and Israel didn't annex it. Okay, this is the basic fact that you have to remember. But they say we are sovereign. Okay, the Palestinians are under military law, basically.
Okay.
And they can theoretically appeal also to Israeli courts.
Okay.
But most of the time, it doesn't happen. So they deal, if a Palestinian arrested, if you want, to get the stamp of the military system that Ayman, whom we talked about, should stay 3 months in this administrative custody, or then the officer will arrest him. The military judge will approve it, and that's it. Of course, his lawyer will try to take the case to Israeli court.
Okay.
Never happens, really.
So even if the area is under Palestinian control, and it's the land, it's
what is Palestinian control?
Well, okay, the area.
The military, the security here is the responsibility, according to international law and even according to Israeli law. It's the army, okay, in Area
Okay.
C. They have, the Palestinians have, management control. I mean, the schools are Palestinians.
Okay.
Okay, they have to worry about, some of their civic rights, but it isn't absurd because it's so minimal. For instance, Palestinians cannot protest.
What's that?
Something from the village.
Okay.
The mosque, I guess, or something. Of course, that Palestinians cannot protest.
I know.
So, what is this? I mean,
Yeah.
it's the army says this is interference with safety, with security, etc. If you demonstrate, we'll shoot at you. Tear gas or something like this.
Even under H1 area?
No, H1 is different.
In Hebron?
H1 is a complete, it's the cities, basically it's the Palestinian cities, and it's under Palestinian authority. But of course the IDF penetrated Jenin, Nablus, Ramallah.
Yeah.
I mean, in spite of the fact that the responsibility for security and for the police, etc., it's in the Palestinians, Israel say, okay, you are not performing your job. We are going and do whatever we think.
Okay.
We can even come to Ramallah, which happened 2 years ago, and close the offices of human rights organization.
Wow.
To this degree, okay? The army came and they locked the offices of 6 human rights organizations, and that's it. So they have, the authority to run the life of the Palestinians in these cities, villages, etc. But Israel preserves for itself the right to enter, to interfere, and even to arrest people in the area. So if someone thinks that, okay, A is Palestinians, area A, and Israel is in area C and in area B also, not true.
Okay.
Because Israel does whatever it wants in the area A territories.
Last question. In regards to the settlers...
You can ask. I will drink some water, but if you are here and you are interested, who am I not to respond?
In regards with the IDF and the settlers, I mean, this is a very... I don't know how you would answer this, but what is worse, dealing with the settlers or dealing with the IDF, or is there even a?
Look, basically, I continue to claim that there is a symbiotic synergy, etc. But
do you think one could exist without the other? Do you think the settlers? Okay, do you think the settlers could do what they're doing without the IDF support?
No. Certainly, this is a very good question. No. What enables them to do what they do is the support of the army, police, Minal Ezrachi, the civic administration, which is the civic organization which exists here. Without it, they are nothing.
Okay.
And this is the main problem for us.
Okay.
I mean, when you are facing such forces, like the army and the police, with enormous power here, we only can take the mobile phone and take pictures, or try to say you are not in the right place, or try to say this is a private land. Why do you let the settlers enter, etc. They are riding. These terrorists, the Jewish terrorists, they are riding on the backs of the army and police.
Okay.
This is the basic thing. I claim it. I proved it. I write a lot in the Facebook about it. I claim always that there is a symbiotics. There was 2 weeks ago. There was. It doesn't happen every day. A TV documentary in channel 11, which is the public channel of Israel, about this relationship between the army and the settlers. And even I was surprised when an officer with covered face said that there is a coordination between this general who heads, the sovereign, and the heads of the settlers regarding the question where to post outposts.
Where to put what?
The outposts.
They are coordinated.
Yeah.
I didn't know it. I didn't know it.
Wow.
But it was not a real surprise, but he said it loudly. And this was astonishing and surprising for me also.
As for internationals that come here, would you say that, I mean, it's like choosing the lesser of two evils, but having to deal with...
You don't have to be selective with...
settlers versus IDF soldiers, is there a protocol, would you say that, this question is just difficult to ask, but would you say that as an international volunteer, personally me, having to deal with settlers versus dealing with the soldiers, what would be the better scenario? Is there some form of protection dealing with soldiers because they have a protocol they have to follow in regards to internationals, as opposed to settlers just doing what they want to do?
Look, the most basic thing is that a settler cannot come to you and say, I want your passport, to see your passport.
Okay.
And then you don't have to identify yourself. With the army or police, you have to identify yourself.
Okay.
This is the basic difference. Now, of course, they can come, according to my system, and say to the army, look, we saw two international volunteers in Ras El Ain or in Duma, come and check them.
Okay.
Which happens. Okay? So, but for them, maybe they will be even more, they will curse you. What are you doing here? You bastard. What are you doing here? Go to the United States, go to Germany, go elsewhere.
In regards to physical harm, bodily harm,
They will arm you the same.
there's no difference in between settlers and the soldiers. The soldiers don't care if you have an American passport or European passport.
No, only in this respect, that this gives them a chance to deliver you to the police and deport you,
Okay.
which will deport you.
They can deport you, but in regards to attack, physical assault with the soldiers, would you say that they have their let's say boundary and how they deal with foreigners? Like you said, okay, they can ask me for my passport, they can deport me, but in regards to physical safety, is there a difference between the soldiers and the settlers? No. Okay.
They beated the settlers beated many people. Less here and more in Drom Har Hebron, in the southern Hebron mountains.
Okay. And the soldiers beat internationals.
No, the soldiers and the settlers.
Both. Okay.
Yeah.
Both are complicit. Okay. Learned a lot. It's good. I always wondered, that question.
I know that it's quite difficult coming from your reality to perceive everything that happens here. It was even difficult for me. Okay, so don't feel that you have any problem. Not at all.
Yeah.
I was, for me, if you tell me 5 years ago that I will not hesitate for one moment to wash the dirty laundry about what happens in Israel abroad, I would say, no, you're crazy. I mean, I'm a patriot. How can I wash the dirty laundry in Germany, Norway, America, or others? I crossed this boundary or river to the point that I really believe these days that without international intervention, we cannot make a change. There are no internal engines in Israel to stand against these tendencies of the extreme right, which is now a part of the Israeli government. And without, sanctions, preventions of military supply, cutting, channels of academic relationship, etc., and all these tools, we cannot make a change, which means that Israel will continue to destroy itself. So I know that it may sound extreme, but I really believe it, and this is a real revolution for me. As a patriot, Zionist, etc., to say Israel now is in deep trouble. Please help us. I was in a Zoom conversation with people, guys from the Bundestag, the left side of the Bundestag, and I said in these words, to be a friend of Israel. And I know that you want to be friends of Israel, and you remember the Holocaust, and how can you stand against Israel? But know that to be a friend of Israel these days means to resist the Israeli government. If you would say that these words would come from my mouth 5 years ago, I would say you're crazy. Ma pitom, how comes? But this is the situation, and unfortunately, I'm sure about it, and I write about it. I have also an article, and I wrote it. And unfortunately, I don't see, the hope or the help come, because the EU, they say things, they declare things, etc., but they are not really
do nothing.
They do nothing, exactly. They really do nothing, which is a real problem. And I try, by my poor power with friends to convince them that they have to do.
How many Israelis would you say share your opinion? Like if you had to do a rough estimate,
No, I would say two things. Share my opinions, 10%.
10%.
10%. Sharing my in regard to nothing will be changed unless we'll get an international intervention, etc. 10%. But more than 50% object what the settlers do.
Oh,
Yes. More than 50% see them as a danger to Israel. But as I told you, so many, so little are willing to do something.
Okay.
They claim, the settlers, yes, we have a majority in the Israeli people, etc. This is rubbish. It's not true.
You have been listening to the Palestine Freedom Files, interviews and sound bites from occupied Palestine by activists on the ground. This has been the first part of the Rabbi Dani Danieli interview, episode 2 of Palestine Freedom Files. Danny is also the subject of episode 3. Our deep felt thanks to Danny and the Bedouins of Makmas Bedouin Encampment, whose identities will remain anonymous for their safety. Additional thanks to Love to Bleed for I'll Take You Home to Gaza and the background music in this episode. Thank you to Ed Goforth, Madonna Camphor, Randy Compton, and the Pacifica Network. Co-produced by Janelle Da Silva. To make donations to the specific community survival and Makmas Bedouin community, go to my.israelgives.org, an organization of courageous Jewish activists supervised by Rabbi Arik Asherman. That's my.israelgives.org. To them and all activists assisting in Palestine, my deepest thanks and prayers. My name is Mauro Martins de Oliveira. This is the Palestine Freedom Files.